Hey, Steve. Just had two quick ones for you. I'm curious, one, have you determined on your starting lineup yet? And two, what, now that you actually have a full house, 13,000 people in the building for the first time this season, what's that going to feel like for you guys, playing a meaningful game that matters in front of a crowd like this?
Yeah, I've decided on the starting lineup. The crowd situation is great. I think it's a great reward for everyone. It's one of those things that the game, the sport, our league just misses. This is about the fans and as much as anything. So to have fans back in the building at playoff time is special. I think it's a reward for the players. For what's been a difficult year, and we can't wait to play for our city and our fans and play hard and make them proud.
Alex Schiffer, The Athletic.
Hey, Steve. Obviously, your first career postseason game as a coach. I'm just curious what your emotions were like either going to bed last night or waking up this morning, whether it was nerves, being amped, or just another day in the neighborhood.
Excited. Excited. I think I'll probably have some nerves when we get close to tip, but I hope so at least. But overall, just feel like we had a good week. We were productive and excited to see our guy how they respond to this, this challenge, and I think it was just a good feeling of excitement and happy that we got to this place and we're ready to go.
Greg Logan, Newsday.
Steve, you say you had a good week. Can you kind of characterize what stood out to you about finally getting a week of practice like this, especially as far as the big three go?
Yeah, I mean, it was a chance to reset. We've had so much fluctuation with our availability and lineups. We've while you'd like to say we've been consistent with what we do all year, the reality is it's not really consistent when you have to make tweaks all the time because different players are in and out of the lineup. So, it was a good week to kind of simplify and review everything we do. It's such a new group. Our starting, or let's say our two of our better fives for sure have never played together really. Maybe one game last week when James came back. So, that it's a different type of journey. Excuse me, I thought I could avoid that for you guys, but it's a different type of journey for this team. We're a group that's largely playing together for the first time here in a sense. So the week was productive in that, one, they got a chance to decompress from the season a little bit. Two, they got a chance to kind of simplify and kind of review everything that we do and want to do to start the series and the playoffs. And then three, just preparing, just taking care of some of the scenarios, some of the details that we think we need to, be prepared to face in the first game.
Tom Dowd, BrooklynNets.com.
Hey, Steve. Yeah, I mean, I know there's been a lot of questions this week about certain guys not having a lot of experience playing with one another. Just curious what that means for you and the staff as you're planning out rotations and lineups, not having as much data as you'd like as far as what groups look like once you get past that starting lineup.
Yeah, I don't think we have much choice. Those are the lineups that, I think we all feel comfortable growing with. And we kind of have to go with it. And, whether there's some growing pains through that, that's fine. That's somewhat to be expected. The playoffs are as much as anything about resolve and toughness and finding a way to fight through adversity, to bounce back. It's not like, 16-0. It's about how tough can you be when you're down? How tough can you be when you're down in a series and the other team goes on a 12-0 run on the road? That's what makes champions. That's what makes teams that can contend or teams that can go deep in the playoffs. So those are the things that our team hasn't done together. So I look forward to some of that as well. Some of the growing pains, some of the moments that really test our resolve.
Christian Winfield, New York Daily News.
Hey, Coach. Just how important is Game 1 of any series in terms of setting the tone for that series?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always better to start a series well, whether it's numerically or psychologically. It is an advantage. So that is important. Plenty of teams have come back and not won Game 1 and won a series, but I think it's very favorable to win Game 1 and to start as you intend to go on. But we we won't worry about outcome. We'll worry about process. We'll worry about what our approach is and what we want to do and how we want to play at both ends of the floor, and then that competitive spirit collectively.
Matt Brooks, Nets Daily.
Hey, Steve, similar question to what Alex asked. I was just curious what the general vibe within the locker room was and how the guys are feeling as they approach this game one.
It's strange. We're not in the locker room. We're in the coach's locker room. We give them their space. That's their sanctuary. We go in pregame and halftime and postgame, but you kind of give them their space, and that is kind of governed by the players for the large part. So, but our guys have been great all week. They were great at shoot around this morning, and I know they're excited to get started.
Last question, Steve Lichtenstein, WFAN.
Hey, Steve, you always hear people say that in the playoffs, possessions are magnified. So I was curious if that makes you more apt to think differently about your coach's challenges, maybe use one earlier so as to not leave your best tool in the shed, so to speak.
Good question. I wouldn't be adverse to challenging if we feel really strongly about it early. But there's also something to be said for saving it if you're not completely certain. So, it could go either way. We could debate this all day with our analytics team, but we definitely aren't afraid of using them, and we also aren't afraid of using them early. Having said that, only if you're really certain, because it could be more valuable at the end of the game.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.